What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa, and today I'll be showing you guys a makeup routine that I did before going to dinner using the Danessa Myricks Skin Blurring Balm and the Haus Labs foundation. Now, I've used both of these separately, so today I'll be seeing how they pair together. Let's get into it. So first I'm going to start with the One Size Oil Sucker Primer. This thing is the truth. It'll have your makeup matte and lasting all day. I'm starting off on freshly prepped skin. This is the consistency of the primer. A little really does go a long way. So I'm going to go ahead and apply, mainly focusing on my oily areas, which is my T-zone. So that's my forehead and the bridge of my nose. And I also like to put it where my concealer goes under eyes so it doesn't move. So once that dries down, it should have you looking like this.
Can I get cash for this? I got some errands to run.
If you haven't noticed, I'm a clown. So let's get into these eyebrows. I am just going to start by brushing them. I don't do much to my brows since they are micro shaded, but when I'm doing a full beat, I like to go ahead and outline them just so that they can pop a little more. So this, I think it was a Sephora brow pencil in the color dark brown. So I'm just going in and outlining my brows, and then of course doing the same thing to the other side. So I make sure to brush it just to blend it in, and I keep the eyebrows real simple. Sometimes less is best, ladies. Then I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the color Chai. I use that to clean up the bottom of my brows and kind of just get that outline to pop. So as you can see, I don't do too much, just using my concealer shade in my skin tone to clean that brow up and make that outline pop a little more. And of course, what we do to one side, we will do to the other. Lastly, for the brows, I'm going to brush them with the Anastasia brow gel just to help them lay down a little more and to look a little clean. And that's it for the brows. Get into it. Now we're going to move on to the face. I am starting with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder in the shade 9. That's what the consistency looks like. Now again, I've tried this by itself. Look at that shade match. It's perfect. And you can wear this as a standalone on the days that I don't want like a full foundation look. I usually would just wear it by itself. It's very light, very airy, not doing too much, but still providing enough glowy full coverage. Now I've seen a couple of videos of people pairing it with the Haus Labs foundation, so that's why I wanted to try this method for a full face. But even by itself, it's a perfectly good standalone product. I tried the shade in a 9.5 before because it was a neutral undertone, and I'm usually a neutral girl, but that shade was a little too dark for me. Now, the 9 is perfect. It is a golden undertone, but it still works for my skin. And I think the match is perfect. So here I am just making sure I apply it everywhere, getting it on the tops of my forehead, and also make sure to get that neck. Don't forget that neck, ladies. Just so we can have a nice seamless blend. Like I said, I could stop right here, but we're going to keep going. We're going to be a little extra. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the Haus Labs foundation. I was trying to find the shade for you guys. It's in the color 480, which is medium deep neutral. Now I applied 2 small pumps, and I'm going to go ahead and just spread that out to apply evenly over my face, to my neck, to my foreheads, and basically everywhere that I went in with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm. And this is also a foundation that I love by itself. Now, the thing with this foundation, it is light to medium coverage. If you're looking for a full coverage foundation, using this alone will not give you that full coverage. So I'm going to see if using this with the Skin Balm is going to give me that full coverage. And what you guys think? I think it did. And as you guys can see, when I'm applying my foundation, my base, I try to avoid going directly under my eye where my concealer will go, because I don't want that to appear cakey. Applying too much product to the under eye area will make it look very cakey. So just want to go below where that concealer would go and apply all over your face. So I'm just making sure I smooth out everything. Now, I don't know the names of the brushes I'm using, but this is like comparable to a flat top kabuki, and that's what I tend to apply my foundations with. A lot of these brushes have their names wiped off, but it's either Real Techniques or BH Cosmetics brushes or Sephora. Now that the base is done, I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealers in the color Maple, which is my lighter shade, and the color Chai, which is my skin tone shade. I like to blend these two together because it gives me a nice concealer tone. Personally, that's what I like to do. So I'm going in with my lighter shade in my inner corners, the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and the sides of my mouth, and lastly on my chin. So everywhere that I just went in with the lighter shade, I'm going to apply the darker shade. So I do the outer corners of my eyes, the top of the bridge of my nose, my forehead, sides of my mouth, and my chin. So now I'm going to go in with my beauty blender. I know it's dirty, not too much, not too much. So I'm going to take the bottom of my beauty blender and start to blend it out. And as you can see, these concealers blend out so effortlessly. I've been using these concealers for years, and I've tried other ones, but these are like good and faithful. I always come back to them. Now, I did like the Haus Labs one, but those again were like light coverage. So I find for like a nice full coverage everyday wear, I am sold on the Too Faced. So yeah, I'm just blending everything out from the forehead to the nose, around the mouth, and then of course the bottom of my face. Just make sure you get them taps in, light taps, okay? And yeah, let's blend it out. Blending is a process, but as long as you blend correctly, you will have a seamless makeup application. Now, we will not touch the under eye just yet. We will let it dry first and move on to the rest of our face. Now, I'm going to go in and set with the One Size setting powder in translucent, making sure to dab off the excess powder. Everywhere that was wet, we will set. I don't know where I heard that from. I think it was on TikTok, and it stuck with me, so I just like saying it. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. Don't mind my face. I was wondering why it looked like a big white blob on my forehead, but we're going to go ahead and fix that. So I'm just setting everywhere that I just blended out with the beauty blender. This is my go-to also for a setting powder. I have this in the color translucent and in Sweet Honey, I believe. Yeah, Sweet Honey. So when I want a little bit of a brighter under eye, I use the translucent, which is mainly my go-to. When I want that glowy-ish look, I use the Sweet Honey. So here I am fixing that blob, making sure to blend out the edges so that it would look a little more seamless. And there, it looks a little better. I'm a little more satisfied. Yup. Now I'm going to go in with the NARS bronzer. She's that girl in the color Laguna. It's a very, very pretty shade. A little really goes a long way. So I did a light tap. I made a mistake of picking up too much on the brush one time, and I had to blend that out for dear life. So a little really does go a long way. The color payoff is amazing. So I'm just going in with the bronzer, going slightly above where I would contour and bringing that up to the sides of my face for some added definition. Then I add it to the sides of my forehead, starting from the top and working my way down on the sides just to add some color back into that forehead so we are not looking ghostly. Then I take a skinny brush to apply it to the sides of my nose, working my way up to just slightly under the brow line. Basically applying this just like you would when you were contouring, but the color payoff is so amazing on this, and a little really does go a long way. I'm doing a slight circle over the bridge of my nose, and then I'm going to take a fluffy brush to blend that all out to just slightly under the brows. Now, if you're new here, I'm not really big on eyeshadow. This was a game time decision, so I said, might as well, let's just do it. So this is my Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette, and I started with the color Oud as my transition slash base shade. So I'm just applying that in like a sweeping motion from my inner corners to the outer layers of my eyelid. This is when I realized I forgot to add my eyeshadow primer, but oh well, we already started, so we're moving on. That's how often you can tell I don't really use eyeshadow. But the eyeshadow primer I would use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. So next, I'm going in with the color Eden for my inner corner. And I'm just going to apply that just about 1/3 of my eyes. And of course, what we do to one side, we have to do to the next. So I'm going in the inner corner, doing the same thing on the other eye. Now, I told y'all this would end up being my base shade also, so I'm just going in and applying to the outer layers of my eyelid. Basically, I was making this up as I went because I wasn't about to do no eyeshadow. Then with a flat top brush, I went in with the color Blood Moon in the middle of my eyelid to give me that little shimmer in the middle to make the eyeshadow pop. So this is a method that I started doing from the summer that I learned from a makeup artist, and I loved it ever since she did it on me. So I started doing that pop of glitter in the middle, and I think it really brings the look together. Less is more sometimes, guys, and you know, keeping it simple sometimes yields the best results, and that's how I feel about eyeshadow. And whenever I do decide to do it, I'm always going to keep it simple. Yep, I'm feeling myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side and putting my pop of glitter in the middle. I was really pleased with this look. Yup, I'm feeling it. Now it's time to blend out the under eye. I'm using a flat top brush, but sometimes I use the Beauty Blender. I go back and forth. It doesn't matter. They both give me the same exact results. So I am taking that down and then up to just slightly where I did the edge of my eyeshadow. So just making sure to blend it out. And I find that letting the under eye concealer dry a little bit does help it blend out a little easier. So of course I'm gonna go ahead and blend the other side the same way I did on the first side. Now I'm gonna go in with the One Size setting powder in translucent. This time I'm gonna pick up a little more than I normally would. That was too much. Just to do like a slight bake under the eye. So you'll see I am just picking up a little extra than I normally would if I'm just gonna press it in and just gonna do like a mini bake. I don't do it for like 5 minutes or anything like that. I just bake while I apply my blush, as I'll show you in a second. But of course, I'm going to go ahead and put some excess powder on the other side so that I can bake the under eye, well, mini bake. So now I'm going to go in with the Patrick Top blush in the color She's Wanted. This is like the perfect fall color, that nice plum. So I'm going to go in with the powder first. And that's really strange that that's how they tell you to do it in the instructions. You start with the powder, then you put the cream over top. But whatever it is, it works. Look at that color payoff. That's like, y'all ever used the color Raisin by MAC? It gives me that vibes, even though Raisin was a little darker, but that's how I feel about the She's Wanted. You can feel how you want to feel about Patrick Ta, but the blushes, they're popping. So I just added the excess blush to the sides of my forehead and the bridge of my nose and the top of my eyeshadow. Now that the blush is complete, I'm going to go ahead and add back any eyeshadow that may have been concealed in the process of blending my under eye. Now I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Setting Powder in the color Deep. But first I'm going to go in with a fresh brush with no makeup just to dust off the excess powder that I put on when I was setting the under eye. So now I'm going to go in with the pressed setting powder back under the eyes and basically all over my face. I feel like this step brings everything together. Like it blends together my bronzer, my concealer, my blush, and just makes the face look seamless. If I skip this step, it looks off and I can tell. So I always be like, wait, I didn't go in with my pressed setting powder, because it really does make the whole look come together. And that's why it's a staple in my routine. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling myself. Yep. So it was at this point I realized I didn't define my contour, which is, well, my bronzer. But this is a step that I like to do. I like to take the translucent setting powder and put it under my contour. It kind of just gives you a chiseled jawline and helps bring in that definition. Like, you'll see the difference. So I usually apply this when I apply the extra setting powder to my under eye and let that do a mini bake as well. But, you know, it still did what it needs to do. There's my chiseled jawline, bringing that definition back to my face. So here I am just adding back a little blush that may have gotten removed. Now I'm going in with this Stila matte lipstick in the color Rico. I've had this for a while. It is a nice berry color, and I wanted to kind of tie in with the, you know, little red berry vibe that I was going with the blush and the eyeshadow. So I feel like this brought that together. So I'm just kind of applying it all over my lip, and I realized that I kind of went a little too low, so I'm just gonna overline a little bit with the lipstick. Then I went in with the BH Cosmetics lipstick in the color Rosy Rose. This was a part of Ray Ray's line, and I kind of used this sparingly, but I kind of wanted to do like a lighter inner lip, and this worked perfectly with the Stila. What they calling it now? French tip lip? So yeah, that nice berry to pink transition is what I was going for. So the face is coming together. I'm going to go ahead and set with the Milk Pore Eclipse Matte Setting Spray. So this has been a staple in my routine, and it helps keep the face matte all day. So it's a small spray nozzle. That's why I'm making that face. Now you can let this air dry, but if you're on a time crunch like me, you can go ahead and use your handheld fan and let it dry down a little quicker. Then I'm going to go in with my One Size Setting Spray. You know, she's that girl. This is definitely a staple in my routine. I will always do a final seal with this, and it helps keep my makeup on all day. Now it definitely does give hairspray, so try not to inhale it. Now I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. If you didn't know, I took a break from my lash extensions going on 3 months now. So I've been curling my lashes, using my serum, and wearing regular mascara. Can you believe it? So then I'm going to go in with the Lancome Lash Idol. This is a mascara that I got for Christmas, and so far so good. It's definitely volumizing. I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the bottom lashes as well. And of course, what we do on one side, we will do to the next. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a second coat of that. I like to do 2 coats of this and then 2 coats of my second mascara, which you'll see. Now I just went in with a Q-tip with some micellar water to clean up any smudging that got on my eyelid from applying the mascara. Now I'm going in with the L'Oreal Telescopic Lash for some lengthening. This is an amazing mascara for lengthening. It definitely gives you that added length that you need, and it is definitely that girl. Now, of course, I have to do the same thing to the other side, making sure we apply from root to tip, okay? Now I'm just going to go back in with my eyeshadow in my inner corner just to add anything that may have been removed when I used the Q-tip with the micellar water, and just correcting that. And then I'm also going to correct any of the glitter that may have been lost. Now I'm going to do a second coat of the L'Oreal just to bring that lengthening back. And we're done, guys. Let me put that hair on and show y'all the final look. Is it giving or is it giving? Girl, yes, get into it, get into it. Hair was given, face was given. I was ready to go, y'all. So this was the look. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.